They say the game is about charts, indicators, and predictions. But behind every massive win and every silent crash lies something deeper. Something the pros never mention on podcasts or brag about in interviews. The true edge isn't in the tools. It isn't even in the strategies. It's buried inside the psychology of the trader. The masters know that if your mind isn't your strongest weapon, it will become your biggest weakness. So today I'll show you the 10 psychology rules the pros don't want you to know, the silent laws they live by that separate them from the crowd. Let's go deep. 1. The market is always right, you're just a visitor. We start with the most brutal truth. The market doesn't care about your feelings. It doesn't care about your careful analysis, your Fibonacci lines, or your can't-miss setups. Every candle, every tick, every spike is a reminder that the market is a living organism, fluid, chaotic, and completely indifferent. Pros accept this reality like monks accept death. They know that when price disagrees with their thesis, the price is right. They're wrong. And they surrender instantly. There's no sulking, no endless forum debates, no angry tweets blaming the Fed. Amateurs cling to their analysis because they want to be right. Pros cling to survival because they want to play tomorrow. Being right feels good to your ego. But being adaptable feeds your account. The next time you feel that stubborn urge to prove the market wrong, remember, you're just a guest here. Respect the host. 2. You don't trade charts, you trade your identity. Look at your last 10 trades. Where did you hesitate? Where did you get greedy? Where did you overreact? Each trade is a mirror reflecting your deepest fears, your childhood money stories, your subconscious need to win or avoid shame. Pros don't just master chart patterns, they master themselves. They become hyper-aware of the tiny flinches in their minds, that sudden heartbeat spike before clicking buy, that sweaty palm when a trade goes against them. They see these signals not as flaws but as data points. Your trades will never outperform your self-image. If you see yourself as a loser, you'll subconsciously sabotage your gains. If you see yourself as unworthy of wealth, you'll find a way to give it back. When you truly understand that you are trading your own identity, you realize that no new indicator can save you. The real upgrade is internal. 3. Risk is oxygen. Protect it first. In the world of professional trading, they talk more about risk than reward. Why? Because reward is optional. Risk is mandatory. A pro will tell you, if I can manage my risk, the profits will manage themselves. Risk is like oxygen to a diver underwater. You can't see it, but when it runs out, it's too late to think about it. Amateurs want to win big today. Pros want to stay alive for decades. That means sizing positions small enough to withstand the unexpected. The black swans, the flash crashes, the overnight gaps. They focus on how much they can lose, not how much they can win. This mindset flips the entire emotional equation. When your primary focus is survival, greed fades away and fear transforms into respect. Your risk plan isn't a side note, it's your lifeline. For discipline isn't a hack, it's your entire edge. We love to talk about discipline as a cool buzzword. Instagram posts about stick to your plan rack up thousands of likes, but in real trading rooms, discipline isn't sexy, it's sacred. A pro doesn't break a rule because of gut feelings. They don't skip stops because they just know it'll bounce. Every decision is an agreement with themselves. I will follow this plan regardless of the outcome. They treat each trade as a contract, a sacred vow that protects their future. When you break your own rules, you don't just hurt your account. You shatter your self-trust. Without self-trust, you hesitate. You revenge trade. You blow up. Pros know that consistent small wins compounded over years beat any single home run gamble. Their discipline is so strict it almost looks robotic, but that's why they last. 5. Emotional detachment is power. Imagine two traders. One dances in excitement after each win, buys expensive dinners and posts screenshots. The other shrugs, logs the trade and moves on. Guess who survives longer? Pros don't get high on wins or crash on losses. They know that the emotional roller coaster is what destroys most accounts, not the trades themselves. A trade is a data point, not an identity badge. They practice emotional detachment with ruthless precision. Meditation, journaling, routine resets. They design rituals to recenter themselves, knowing that their biggest asset is their calm under fire. Without this detachment, every market dip feels like a personal attack, and every rally feels like a lottery ticket. Emotional neutrality doesn't come naturally. It's trained like a muscle rep by rep. 6. You can be wrong most of the time and still get rich. This might shock you. Pros often lose more trades than they win. They might have a win rate as low as 30%, yet they're millionaires. Oh, because they lose small and win big. Amateurs focus on being right every trade. Pros focus on managing risk so that when they're wrong, it barely hurts. And when they're right, they ride the trend. They let winners run. They know that in a probabilistic game, being wrong is part of the process, not a sign of failure. If you can rewire your brain to celebrate proper execution rather than accuracy, you open the door to real wealth. Imagine this. What if you could fail most of the time and still build a fortune? That's the mindset that separates players from masters. 7. Self-trust beats any indicator. Indicators are tools. They can help, but they're not your savior. In the chaos of a live market, when price rips through your stop, no indicator will hold your hand. Self-trust is built by keeping small promises to yourself. Place your stop when you say you will. Cut a loss when you agreed to. Walk away when emotions spike. Each kept promise becomes a brick in the foundation of self-trust. When the pressure hits, you don't rely on hope or luck. You rely on the quiet knowledge that you've done the work and you'll do it again. A pro's edge isn't that they know what happens next. It's that they trust themselves to execute no matter what. 8. Patience is a position. Most traders believe being active means being profitable. Pros know that forced trades are poison. They might sit for days, weeks, scanning, watching, waiting. They build cash positions like a hunter builds silence before the final shot. Amateurs feel restless if they're not doing something. But the pro's mindset is, my patience is my position. My cash is a weapon. They know that the few best opportunities each year make most of their profits. The discipline to wait, truly wait, is a superpower in a world addicted to action. Every moment you resist the urge to overtrade, you're strengthening this muscle. 9. Your worst enemy is you after a win. A big win feels like a superhero serum. Your brain screams, you're unstoppable. Size up. Let's go bigger. But this is the exact moment most traders blow up. After a win, you become vulnerable to overconfidence, sloppiness, revenge trades to double up. Pros build what I call humility protocols. They review the trade clinically, not emotionally. They meditate or step away to neutralize dopamine spikes. They remind themselves that one win doesn't change probabilities. They don't reward themselves with impulsive risk. They reward themselves with discipline. Because the battle isn't won when you close a green trade. It's won when you maintain your edge after the win. 10. You are not your P&L, you are your process. We live in a world obsessed with scoreboard metrics. But pros know that tying your self-worth to P&L is emotional suicide. When you feel worthy only on green days and worthless on red days, you surrender your power to randomness. Instead, pros evaluate themselves by one standard. Did I execute my plan today? This shifts the game from outcome to process, from fear to freedom. When you judge yourself by your process, you become unstoppable. Losses become feedback, not failure. Wins become data, not identity fuel. You don't spiral because you know that mastery isn't in the results. It's in the repetition of correct actions. The pros don't hide this because they want to hoard secrets. They don't talk about it because most people wouldn't believe it's that simple. And that hard. These 10 rules aren't easy to follow. In fact, most traders fail not because they lack technical skill, but because they refuse to master these invisible psychological laws. Imagine building a fortress inside your mind, a place so strong that no red day can shake it, no green day can inflate your ego beyond reason. That's the real edge. That's why the pros seem almost superhuman. They've done the internal work, trade after trade, loss after loss, win after win. When you internalize these rules, you realize that the market isn't your enemy. It's a mirror, a teacher, a brutal but fair partner. So, the question is, are you ready to step beyond strategies and start mastering the only thing that truly matters? You? Let me know which rule hit you the hardest down below. And remember, in this game it's never about the market. It's always about you. If this hit home, share it with someone stuck in analysis paralysis. Subscribe for more deep, no BS trading psychology lessons. And until next time, trade sharp, trade calm, and trade true to you.